Well, speaking of woke, guess whose head is on the chopping block now? The bard, William Shakespeare. Get this, Shakespeare has made theatre too white, male, heterosexual and cisgender, claims new taxpayer-funded study. So now this guy's head is on the chopping block. And this was an £800,000 project funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council. And this is what their researchers have come up with, basically saying we've made this a normative trend by mounting productions where he's front and centre all the time. He's just the most prolific playwright in the world. I'm so sorry he's white. We really apologise for that.
We've lost.
What are we supposed to do?
We've lost the plot. And the researchers, in response to all of this, have decided that the best way to counteract this supposed, racism and sexism and whatever that Shakespeare, notably one of the best playwrights of all time, has wrought upon the theatre, is to platform a play by a dude called John Lyly, who, by the way, is also white, but wrote a play back in the day. He was a contemporary of Shakespeare. Wrote a play called Galathea, which centres around this idea that girls are essentially sacrificed once a year. So a number of girls in this play dress up as boys in order to avoid being sacrificed, right? So this is apparently going to right all the wrongs of Shakespeare because they found one play that was written around the same time that involved girls dressing up as boys. We've fixed it. There's probably a reason you've never heard of John Lyly, and that's because he wasn't as good as William Shakespeare.
I just think it's hilarious they spent £800,000 to do a study to discover that the Elizabethan population of England was mostly white, able-bodied and, heteronormative.
Can't have it. Unacceptable.
Imagine if they'd spent £1 million, they would have also found there were no internal combustion engines, no mobile phones, and electricity was exceedingly rare back in the day.
What were you expecting of people and a playwright that was born in the 16th century, right? And what they forget, of course, is, sure, back then you might have had elements of sexism and racism involved in the world. Who would have thought? But the work that Shakespeare done was groundbreaking at the time, and the contribution he made to the English language, the way he changed the English language, he was far more progressive than anyone else who was around at the time. He changed the world in terms of language and theatre, etc. And now we want to be told that he was just upholding the traditional value. No, he was breaking down those barriers, literally rewriting the way things are done with his work. It just makes sense.
Yeah, but he was white, okay?
Well, that's right.
Was
but
white,
so was John Lyly.
And for that, he cannot be forgiven.
He's been blacklisted.